Hello, everybody. Welcome to the League Bleed Orange Fantasy Recap Show. As usual, I'm your commissioner, Commissioner Horniak here. Today we're going to have a great show. It's week 4, and we're really getting into it. As you can see with the standings behind me here, everything's pretty close. Unless you're Team Miller or Jay Smith's Tubes of Fallopian. Not looking good for you. But, yeah, today to help me out, special guest host today. He's the league owner of Show Me Your TDs, Jeremy Hamill. Let's bring him on in here. Jeremy High Score Hamill. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm fantastic.
Tell you what, another high score for you. That's 2 in 3 weeks.
Yep. I went to Target, ordered my kiddie pool.
Nice.
I'm going to have it put into pennies and go Scrooge McDuck style.
Well, that's good because I give you pennies.
Yeah.
So it's going to work out. We all know who got that other high score. It was me. So, we'll trade off this season. What do you think? Maybe this week I'll get it. Is that okay? All right, cool. Last week, I would say that it was an intense week. But let me tell you, there was no close matchup all week long. Not one game.
No.
I think the closest matchup was 27-point difference. Ugh, that's gross. No excitement, unless you were winning, and then everything's exciting then.
Always.
And let me tell you, I did not win. It was not exciting, okay? I went up against the Black Manda, and let me tell you, he struck, all right? I got the old venomous bite, you could say, and it was not pretty. Lost by 39 points.
That's embarrassing.
Ugh.
Injuries.
Yeah, injuries, he tried to whine about not having Miles Austin, all right, but I ended up not having the White Rhino, Antonio Gates, Vic went down. It was a debacle. But we'll try to pull it together, my team. We're going to be all right, I think.
Oh, yeah.
So, in fact, me and you made a little trade this week. White Rhino might be heading your direction.
Pending votes.
That's correct.
We all want to jinx it.
Yeah. I mean, I was reading some articles in the paper, you know what I mean? And this one says, healthy backs give Browns solid 1-2 punch in the running game. So, yeah, hopefully Hardesty doesn't dip into Hillis's carries there, I don't know.
Not going to happen.
Good trade. So, yeah, we'll see how that works out. How'd your matchup go last week?
I started out strong and never really looked back.
And finished strong. That's correct. You got high scores, 131. You'll be getting your $10 in pennies or pesos, whatever is the most amount of coinage for you.
Okay.
And you beat Kegs and Legs. So Kegs and Legs is now 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. We got his record wrong last week. I would like to apologize to Kyle Branham. But this week we did not get it wrong. You lost. So what are you going to do? Then we had Chris Miller, defending champ of Team Miller, versus Team Juggernaut, Jay Lang. The champ isn't looking good.
No.
Ugh.
He must be giving us all a head start.
I think that's what it is. He's been hit with a few injuries as well, some slow starts for some of his players. But let me tell you, in the Band-Aid Bowl, wow, Jay Lang came out on top. 41-point victory for Lang. So, he ended up getting his first win of the season. So, good for him. Congratulations, Jay. Hope you keep it rolling until you play me. Then we had Mike Garlow's Team Carry the One versus the Tubes of Fallopian. The Gnome really had a good feeling about the Team TOF this week, but
he's hitting the sauce.
Not so much. 0-3 for him as well. 2 0-3 teams, different divisions. So we got a lot of divisional play going on. So it's going to be interesting. Final matchup of the week was actually the closest matchup, 27-point difference. Team Pipes comes out on top of Sam Beal's Twin Peaks Steeplejacks. Pipes looking a little tough. You ended up getting him that week 1.
Yeah.
Because, well, let me rephrase. Tom Brady ended up getting him in week 1. But
that's all that matters.
If it wasn't for that, he'd be 3-0. But he's not. Sorry, buddy. 2-1 with the rest of us. Come join us in the 2-1 realm. So, let's take a look at the matchups we got here. We got Black Manda leading the AFC. He's got a tough team this year.
Good strong.
Finally drafted well after 2 years in the league. Worked out for him. Yeah, and then you got myself and Mike Garlow bringing up second place. Then over in the NFC, we got a three-way tie. We seem to have a lot of three-way ties in the NFC. Last year we had a bunch of those too, so we'll see how it shakes out. You know what that brings us to? Everyone's favorite segment. Let's bring him in. Next week's matchup, Gnome, with a 5-5 record. There he is. Welcome to the show, Gnome. Yeah, last week he went 3-2, so he got his record back up to 500. What are you gonna do?
It's respectable.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's gonna do better this week. I have a feeling. First matchup we got is my matchup actually, looking to rebound. Let me tell you. If there's one way to rebound, it's going against the Tubes of Fallopian, because they are horrible. All right? Yeah, I wonder, who do you think the Gnomes got picking?
I mean, it's a tough call.
I know.
But
I got some injuries now, Vic's got that swollen digit, I don't know. What's the Gnome got? Oh, thank you, Gnome.
Front runner.
The Gnome has picked me every time. I'm not saying anything. We're not in cahoots or anything, but last week he wasn't so right last week. That's for sure. Next up we got Jay Lang versus the Black Manda. 3-0 versus 1-2 here. I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, Manda can't go undefeated.
He cannot go under. He's got to eventually lose. Is this the week? Oh, Gnome says me no likey 4-0 teams. That's what he said in some ancient Chinese-ish language. Next up we got Team Pipes versus Kegs and Legs. Kegs and Legs looking to rebound. He had a bad loss last week. Pipes got a win. So 2-1 versus 1-2. Wonder what the Gnomes got. Kegs and Legs.
He wants to win bad.
Ooh, man. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting matchup. It's got Aaron Rodgers. When you got Aaron Rodgers, you always got a chance to win. That's what I always say. Next up, you know what we got? Your matchup. That's right. We got Chris Miller, 0-3, defending champ. All right? He had the trophy in his hands. He was probably doing horrible, horrible things to that trophy while he had it. Sleeping with it, naked. Who knows what he was doing.
Now it's in your house.
Now it's in my house. And let me tell you, we're still trying to clean it. All right? Versus yourself. You're leading the NFC, actually. That's got to be a good feeling for you. You're leading in points, which means you're the leader in the clubhouse. So I wonder what the Gnomes got picking here. Oh, the Gnome likes the co-hosts as well. He usually picks the co-hosts. And let me tell you, you know what's going to help you if you do end up winning? That's right. Fantasy Awesome Guy of the Week. Yep, that's right, folks. This is one of the, it's the talked about segments of the show. Who do you got for your Fantasy Awesome Guy this week?
This week is Denarius Moore.
Denarius Moore. Is that how you pronounce it?
That's how I'm pronouncing it.
That sounds about right. That sounds of the African origin. That's for sure.
A duh or
a duh or a luh somewhere in there. And all of a sudden you got the wide receiver for Oakland. He's also a kick returner. Too bad you can't get any points for that in our league. But
he does run every once in a while.
He runs fast. Yes, he does.
He ran a touchdown and stole that right away from McFadden.
He did. Well, imagine what McFadden's day would have been if he would have got that. Mm-hmm. Wow. Chris Miller needs that, let me tell you. But so we'll be on the lookout for your Fantasy Awesome Guy. Yep, right about there. That's about right. Okay. And yeah, so we'll keep an eye on that. Last week's Fantasy Awesome Guy didn't necessarily do so well. Cam Newton and Kyle Monda's prediction of 100 yards rushing did not come true. 27 yards there. But he only ended up with 16 points. An iffy day for a QB. So we'll see how that goes.
Blame it on the rain.
Blame it on the rain, Milli Vanilli. So finally, the Gnome has matchup of the week. Matchup of the week: Twin Peaks Steeplejacks versus Mike Garlow's Team Carry the One. Mike Garlow's been crunching some numbers, I'm sure, and Sam really needs to come back from his horrible loss from last week. Wonder what the Gnomes got. Oh.
Gonna carry that one right into the win column.
I'll tell you what, he needs to add one more victory to the win column, that's for sure. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to be a great week next week. Yeah, hopefully things turn around for a bunch of us, to include myself in the loss column. Let's thank the Gnome for coming on in. Thank you, Gnome. Yeah, so, I mean, that pretty much wraps it up. Good show today. We got the Fantasy Awesome Guy of the Week, Denarius Moore. We'll keep an eye out for that in your matchup. And yeah, let's go Team Horniak this week. All right? For all you viewers out there, we'll be back next week with an even more exciting show. We'll see you then.